Well, touring has a really bizarre effect, I think, on human beings in general. I think Frank Zappa's 200 Motels is probably a really great sort of, surrealistic picture of what happens to people when they've spent months on the road and how crazy they go, and the kind of, tomfoolery and inside jokes turns into like complete, manic conversation. And personally, like, I need a lot of quiet and I need a lot of space to write. So I find the road pretty constricting, and I find it really, really hard to write on the road. I end up, but I want to be inspired, and I don't want to be wasting that time not kind of, jotting down ideas or humming melodies. So what I often do is I keep a pen and paper around, I keep a little notebook, and I'm constantly sort of jotting down imagery and ideas. But it's very rare that that stuff makes it into song later on. So what I often find is that the road, more than anything, gets you. It gets me excited to write and record. It's like those two phases where you're, when you're in school, all you want to do is work, and when you're working, all you want to do is go back to school. And I find writing and recording to be and touring to be those two separate animals. Like, I find that when I'm on the road, all I want to do is just hunker down in the studio and get away from the road and get away from people. Not in a bad way, but just it's much easier for me to reflect on experiences and relationships and that I've sort of accrued on the road after the fact. But in the moment, I really just want to enjoy the road. I want to enjoy all the zaniness. I want to enjoy the moments of frustration, meeting new people, seeing new things, eating new food, all that stuff. So I like to be very present in each of the processes. So I often find that I've learned to use the road as a way to inspire me to write, and then when I'm writing at home and getting sick of hearing my own voice, it's really exciting to get back on the road and perform for people, because they're two very, very separate acts. And what's interesting is that the closer you are to one or the other, I find that you can have the road influence the way that you write when you're at home. So if we've come right off the road, I sometimes will think about how a song might translate to a live audience or to the band as a whole. So that's really interesting, because you feel that weight kind of disappear as you spend more time at home, and your writing kind of gradually gets back to this place where you're sort of free of any self-conscious thought. So I kind of like to revel and work within all those different mind frames, and I've had to try to let go of forcing myself into any particular mode, and just know that when I'm touring, that's what I'm doing, and that's how I want to be present. And then when I get home, I know that those experiences will somehow feed into the songwriting.